All right, test 1 2. Microphone's looking good. How you guys doing? Oh man, the music in my headset is way too loud. All right, let's get this going. Welcome to the weekly Whale Watch. This is your dude Runner doing our weekly Whale Watch stream that we do every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Per the usual, this is not intended to be used for educational purposes. Or no, well, maybe it is. Actually, it is intended to be used for educational purposes and is not intended to be used as financial advice. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's get this going. TV stream. There we go. All right, cool. Everything's looking good. Yeah, per the usual, though, also, if you're curious why my charts look like rainbows and have all these signals and stuff on it, it's Rainbow Theory tool set from Rainbow Trends. So if you have any interest on any of that stuff, check us out on our website. All the info is on there, and I have finally updated every single page here, and every single one of these goes to the latest and greatest YouTube, as well as we have the new tools listed here, so you actually can see, like, we have the Mali 913s on here. You can do the full tutorials on there, and as always, we have the Wikipedia fully built out now, so all the learning and stuff is based in here. But whew, what a week so far. It's done for me. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm going to hang out with you guys a little later tonight than normal, but hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having fun. We're almost there, man. Today was a bit wild, so. But first things first, I want to congratulate Joe Shimoda for locking in the Super Motocross 250F Championship against Hayden Deegan. Dude was killing it. Extremely controversial race. If you haven't seen it, go watch the replay on tutorial. Go watch the replay on Peacock. One of the most crazy 250F races, or races even in general, I've ever seen. Hayden tried to take Shimoda out multiple times. They both ended up falling at one point, though, as a forced collision between Hayden and Joe, and Hayden ended up breaking his collarbone and pulling himself out of the race. So, absolutely insane, but congratulations to Joe. Couldn't happen to a nicer dude, and he's absolutely hilarious if you go watch his interviews and stuff like that. But they've been doing copyright strikes on just about anything Super Motocross, so I'm only going to show the photos of what they're posting, but excellent stuff from Joe. And we're about to start seeing the contracts and stuff going up, so the see who's changing. Sexton's leaving KTM, allegedly going to Kawasaki, and Crypto Daddy's hitting me up right now saying that Jason Anderson may actually be going Suzuki, which is going to be really interesting. So anyway, you guys are not here for the motocross. This is clearly an art stream, right? So first things first, I wish I didn't have to report this, but Sam Bankman-Fried has apparently tweeted, allegedly, not from jail. This is his lawyer coming in saying SBF is not posting himself from prison. I'm a friend posting this on his behalf, right? So I don't like these shenanigans. We've had hype pop up. We've had Aster pop up. All of a sudden, SBF's wanting to start getting chatty again from prison. So not so happy on that one, is what it is. But and the funny thing is they're saying like, whoa, he's not doing this from prison, right? Well, if you guys don't remember, March 6th, SBF did a full interview from prison from allegedly a smuggled cell phone. And apparently this was not sanctioned or approved. He got in deep trouble for that. So when in Rome, have fun, I guess. But definitely don't trust this dude or anybody around him, Alameda related. It's just not going to be a fun time. Hold on, let me see. There it goes. I think we're lagging on the chat, so I can see Sean. What's up? J-Riz. How are you? And of course, Nexus is here. What's up, Nexus? If Nexus doesn't show up, we actually file a missing persons report because that's not normal. But yeah, I was tempted to post it or go over this in the stream, and I didn't. But I couldn't substantiate it. But allegedly, SBF is working on a perps dex. A la copying what essentially Hype and Aster are. And I'm definitely just going to keep recommending don't touch anything related to Alameda. Force of habit, but it's paid off. Because if you guys remember, when FTX was going down, we called it out. Said, dude, get your funds off. Play it safe. Everything blew up. So Anyway, moving on. I had, well, how do I say this? You need to let me just keep this short. You need to follow Sherlock Hoddles. He's a gem to this industry, and he's absolutely hilarious. And he posted this, and I just absolutely died laughing, saying, "This is SBF's lawyer smuggling a phone into prison." I don't know where he comes up with this stuff, but this dude continues to crack me up. And where there's legit strategic comedy, I am a huge fan, even if it's for the dumbest things. This took skill. I couldn't have come up with this. So shout out Sherlock Hoddles. Definitely follow this guy. I tag him all the time on stuff I find clever like that. He's a good dude. So anyway, actually I did pop it up. I already gave you the preface. I thought I deleted this and I didn't want to show it, but allegedly this is happening. I don't know if it's true. I don't know anything about any of this stuff. All I know is don't trust SBF or anything remotely related to Alameda or any of the people associated with Alameda. All I can say. That being said, allegedly, this is saying it's Pacificify is allegedly what SBF is going to be launching on a perp dex. I'm not really sure, but I will say this: just play. No, you're playing with fire. I'm not a fan of it. But moving on. Speaking of old friends of the industry, Trump and Elon got back together for the Charlie Kirk Memorial. I guess it's not the grand gathering style funeral they had for him. And these two haven't talked in a while. They had a breaking up, and we saw some crazy things go down, where to the point of Elon accusing Trump of being on the Epstein flight logs and all this other stuff, or Epstein lists. That's why they weren't releasing it, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, Tesla nuked. Tesla recovered. They become friends. Now they're shaking hands. And Dime says, hey, Tesla's going to go up 40% tomorrow. What happened? Well, Tesla absolutely blasted out of this wedge and went straight up into pink candles on the freaking 4 hour, straight into the reversion band. I, for one, did not play this, did not trade this. I've been watching this, and essentially, this trend line we've been following, originally we were looking for this to be kind of like a wedge. Sorry, I've been up since 6 this morning. It didn't hold, but the bottom trend line did, and we kept extending it, and finally, bam. This was a big announcement of Elon coming back to really spearhead this company. He bought back his own stocks, showing investment. Papa Bear CEOs coming in. For those who don't know, if a CEO is a CEO of a company and he's messing with other projects and not giving it full attention, the investors don't get too happy. But when that CEO happens to come back in wholeheartedly, number go up, right? So welcome to the pay group stream. This is how we go explain how CEOs working on their projects is bullish. But long story short, this was the big trade that we followed for months, and we set up a lot of people on this one using the Rainbow Theory stuff. This ended up pushing about 60% on Tesla, and then it's been chopping. And frankly, due to the volatility of Tesla, I don't like messing with this until it's like in these reversion bands where I have a guarantee, for the most part, we're going to be pumping back up eventually at some point once it does rotate and the whales do their thing. Now, with that being said, that's literally the candles of like Trump and Elon falling out, and they got silent. He quit working on the Doge stuff. So I was like, man, I don't really want to mess with this. Like, it's not my thing. Tesla sales weren't doing so good. I was like, I'm just going to wait for more volatility. I watched them almost tag this order block, but I saw this and I almost bid. I was like, I don't want to do it. It's still dead center, these reversion bands. I'm just going to wait it out. So now I get to cry. But upon him coming back, the move was roughly 28%. That being said, Tesla can rip when it wants to rip. This is one of those things. When Tesla wants to roll, don't fade it, don't short it, right? But you can watch for these rotations, and you're seeing here, this is kind of what a previously historic chart has shown color rotations, right? So we're seeing that here on this potentially playing out, but it's kind of an early pump. But the market was caught off guard when they found out Elon had bought back in. So we'll see. But you can see this is kind of like the projection I'm kind of going to be watching. So in short, if you're up on this and you're not willing to just diamond hand this for a very long time, if you're looking for a short-term target to actually take some profits at a really, really nice place, Rainbow Stuff is telling you the whales are kind of fading this right now. So welcome to Rainbow Theory 101. When the colors are rotating in resistance, it means it's fading, right? That's not to say they can't just come back in and go crazy tomorrow. You could find out Kimball Musk has bought a shit ton of stock, and Elon is going to kill all the other automakers off the industry. You never know. But when things are good and you can get a crazy exit, there's no crying, right? So it works out. I'm trying to find the ghost candle thing. Is it ghost pattern? I think it's this one. So just to kind of give you like an idea, that's what we'd be looking at. Actually, that's kind of interesting because if we extended that would actually... Ooh. Yeah, maybe we'll get a revisit of 357, but it's one of those things I don't ever recommend anybody to ever short anything, but in general, there's clearly times to get your exits in at a very, very prime opportunity. So for each your own, do your own thing. But anyway, what's up, J-Riz? Phil. Phil's one of my most loyal Panda dudes. We love Phil. Now, moving on. Clearly, the superior automotive industry segment as far as electric vehicles is obviously Rivian, right? Now, we have been going through the fun Gentile streams of making all the different PFPs with Rivian. I actually am long, may or may not be long, who knows? But this downtrend that we've had since August of 22 is finally getting broken and retested. I've been waiting for this thing because it was either eventually this thing was going to bottom or it was going to go to zero. And right now it's looking like it's breaking this pattern. And as soon as we can get like a higher high, dude, we may be half piping this, the old half pipe days, right? Maybe that's the play. That being said, on the shorter time frames that I'm looking at right now, because right now the market is giving me really, really high win rates in TradeFi using Rainbow Theory. This is, for me, about to exit this position. I don't remember. I think I'm around here. I played that when it started waking back up through this wedge again is when I longed it because it was just showing ridiculous strength. And also the Gentile was definitely green pilling me on it. But I'm getting another rotation into these reversion bands. So let me turn off the Mali pivots. So we got a little shakeout there, so that I'm ignoring that top signal because that threw the bot off. But for the most part, if we're looking at reversion bands, just about every time on this reversion band, when it does hit it, it tends to hit that second layer just about every time. So that right now is right here. So we'll see what NATO does, and we'll talk about that later in the stream. But in general, I'm going to see if I can get 1750 out of this. If it starts rotating out of this cloud, I'll see I'll look at exiting. But so far, Rivian hasn't shot into pink candles yet, so I'm waiting to see. But I'm way up. I'm way, way up. So I want to plan my exit, right? Or at least get some of my risk out. So anyway, moving on. If you guys have any questions, let me know up in the chat. What's up, DK? DK is a big fan of Rivian. You may or may not know that. But what was I going to say? Oh, thanks to all who logged in and are watching this. We're live on X, live on YouTube. If you guys could click a link, comment, subscribe, retweet, it helps out a lot. Now, talking electric vehicles, Tesla and Rivian, we have to talk energy infrastructure. Why? Something has to power all of these vehicles that get plugged in around 7 o'clock across the United States. And the amount of amperage that a Tesla draws during charging is absolutely mental. If you guys are unfamiliar, you cannot charge a Tesla with a wall socket. 110 volts is not going to do it. You might get 15, 20 miles of charge if you plug it in all overnight. At a minimum, you really need like 240. So, not to get into the engineering stuff too much, but there's a few things you guys need to consider. AI is going mental. They're trying to plug in as many NVIDIA cards as they can into these networks to try to win an AI race. We had a space race back in the 70s and 60s. We're having an AI race now between us and China. I say us, the United States. And that's where we're really looking into infrastructure as far as electricity. We do not have the grid structure to support this. And it's going to cause issues. And it is causing issues because they're already tapping everything out. And it's they have to figure something out. Well, to do that, first off, you have to start generating more power. And one of the big things that's coming up, it's like May of this year, I think, is when Trump announced, like, dude, we're going nuclear. We're splitting atoms. I don't like windmills. And the trade's been good, to say the least. Nuclear stocks have been way up. The one we've been tracking is UUUU. It just keeps going up and up and up. Quad U is the easier way to say it. And taking a quick look at Malifestro's his bag hit $13 today. So congrats, Mally. Definitely give him a follow if you're not. If you haven't, we can actually unfollow him today live on stream if you'd like. But looking at this, it's pretty cool. Because politics aside, the president of the United States told you we're going really, really hard into nuclear right around here. Since then, it's gone up 320%. This is not a meme coin either. This is talking uranium stocks and supplies. So uranium is going to be... So nuclear power plants take a long time to build, roughly 5 years. I think they're going to try to do them in like 2 to 3. Maybe revive some old ones, but at the end of the day, uranium is one of the only things that you can power this AI race with, short of bringing back coal energy, right? Which they're actually trying to do, bring coal back online, but this is really the one that's got the power and the megawatts to do it. You're not going to do it on solar. You're not going to do it on wind. Particularly as badass as solar is, all this EV loads and in general the loads of the United States workforce and just about any workforce in the world, the power loads increase when everyone comes home from work, which is right around like 6 o'clock, right? And that's when the sun sets. So short of putting all this electricity into battery banks, solar's just not the answer. That being said, they are actually trying to build battery banks for the grid infrastructure to help with the loads, which is just going to be ridiculous because you're going to have entire football fields worth of lithium batteries, which is going to be nuts. So anyway, yeah, Phil, I can imagine Canada wanting to ban all gas vehicles. That actually sounds on point, to be honest with you. I don't know how you would, though, especially up north. Like, batteries hate cold weather. So trying to get extended range out of your Rivian in negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit is going to be interesting. And since you're Canadian, you're going to have no idea what I'm talking about as far as negative 20. But to be honest, when the temperatures get that extreme, negative 20, Celsius, Fahrenheit, same thing. Anyway, moving on. One of the other ones I've been looking at, and this has nothing to do with any of the energy. Clearly, Bath and Body Works is a nuclear power play. You guys just didn't know that, but they've been rebranded. They're going to do a DAT treasury for uranium. I'm joking if you can't tell. We were just looking at charts, and I was scanning with this stuff. And to be honest with you guys, once your eyes get accustomed to all this stuff, this rainbow trends, the way this stuff looks, I just fly through charts. I look at them for about 2 seconds. It's like, am I seeing extreme candle colors? Are they in the reversion bands? And I just start looking for setups. Are we near order blocks? I literally go through them about this fast. Maybe 2 seconds a chart, and that's just because it mainly takes 2 seconds to render. But Bath and Body Works started hitting this order block here again. So I'm looking for this to bounce. It's just too nice. And I have a very, very clear invalidation when I'm wrong. Below 24.97. So if we break lower, we have seen these happen. If you go back and look at the old, I think it was Target charts when we were trading these ranges, where it's just literally the range on Target was just doing this for like 18 months. And then it finally broke down here and did lower lows. Just play it till it doesn't work anymore, right? That's what I'm shooting for. So I'm playing Bath and Body Works, seeing how this goes. I'm about to exit out of Rivian. And I'm also looking at, I think O'Reilly was the other one. So anyway, negative 52x, Phil. Dear God. Honestly, I don't know, man, about the copper stuff. I think we can look at it real quick. That's a good question. Since we're talking energy infrastructure. I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's the tariff one. They were going to tariff copper for some reason. This is where tariffs just come in and absolutely wreck the market. It went from 560 to 430 instantly over tariff news. So, just maybe they're going to tariff Oreos next. I don't know. It's just hard on that one. Frankly, anything that nukes like that, you've got to let this stuff play out. And it's frankly nuked twice. So, I don't know. I think this one may have been when they thought they had the room temperature superconductor. Wasn't that what that was? I don't remember. But anyway, moving on. Another one to follow, Carpe Noctem, as always. This dude taught me a lot, and in general, this is one of the few OGs that I actually pay attention to on at least on a weekly basis to hit up his sentiment on the markets. So definitely give him a follow and go listen to his YouTubes. I really like the Monday streams he does, Macro Mondays. But I've been bugging him a little bit, and I was like, hey, man, can you do one of your pitchforks on O'Reilly? And he finally did. And it was kind of awesome. Because he drew it differently than I tried to. But he's the pitchfork guy. I'm not the pitchfork guy. I'm the rainbow guy. And it was kind of interesting because I originally drew it where this wasn't in the center. I drew it where that was kind of more on the top. But if you guys don't know, this is a stock thesis that I have and I've been talking about with, and I can't find anybody else who talks about this stock, and it drives me nuts. What's up, Eddie from Venezuela? Venezuela's awesome. So I've been using ChatGPT, the 4.0 model, because 5.0 can't do it. The old G4 model, which is amazing. I've been saying, hey, over the past 20 years, what is one of the most consistent stocks with less than 30% max down draw per year? And it keeps coming back to like O'Reilly, NVIDIA, Coca-Cola, AutoZone, which is basically O'Reilly. And I can't find many things that outperform this on a yearly basis. If you just look at the 12-month year returns, as in December 31st divided by January 1st, high-low, right? And I'm looking at this and I'm just like, man, there are not too many stocks that do not care about tariffs. This is one of the only ones that does. This is the COVID lows. Sorry, I had to say the kids goodnight. They actually scare you to death. I'm in my streaming area and I can't hear them with headsets on. So all of a sudden I get hugged on the shoulder while I'm talking about O'Reilly. But check this out. Definitely go check this chart out because it just goes up. This is like, it's from 2000. It's on logarithmic. And it just averages. I forgot what the averages was on ChatGPT when I had it, but it was something like over 20% a year was the general average, and it just has a steady up. Over time, right now, this thing it's just a DCA monster. NVIDIA, yeah, over time, over the past 10 years, NVIDIA's beaten this, but NVIDIA's had some crazy years where it's pulled back hard. This thing just tends to go. So I'm looking at some exit strategies. Maybe we start coming up on the end of a crypto market. Maybe gold tops out. Maybe silver dies, right? O'Reilly apparently doesn't care. And this was one of the really interesting things is I thought for sure I was going to get a crazy entry on O'Reilly when they started talking China tariffs. Why? Majority of the products that O'Reilly stocks are remanufactured products from China. So I thought for sure this was going to have issues, and it doesn't. But anyway, check it out. It's a good one. Go check out Josh as well. So Moving on to some crypto stocks. Some crypto tickers. Apparently, Tether seeks $20 billion at a $500 billion valuation, making it the most valuable profit company alongside OpenAI. So apparently, Tether's not dead. Tether is going to be going public, and they seek some valuations. How crazy are these evaluations? If this actually goes through, the Tether CEO will be the 5th richest person in the world. I repeat, in the world, at $224 billion, according to Bloomberg. Dude. Number 5. It's insane. We're talking Zuckerberg, we're talking Bezos, we're talking Musk, we're talking Larry Ellison. Like, it's going to be nuts. So, that's going to be fun. But they're talking about the same power as like OpenAI, so this is going to be really interesting. So, yeah. Long story short, my take on the GPU race for this AI stuff, I don't think they're anywhere near AGI. But what I think they are hitting is you can improve the capabilities of these AI models if you add hash rate to it. The problem is it's a diminishing return. But if you throw billions of dollars at it, it does get better and does more powerful things. So it's going to be interesting where it goes, especially when they start getting the quantum chips going. But it's regardless, as long as they keep going down this path and people don't realize that LLMs aren't going to get you to cognizance and consciousness, NVIDIA is going to be very, very important stock until that gives up. Now, with that being said, we were watching the channel walker break on NVIDIA. We sustained a channel walk inside the reversion candles, and Rainbow Theory 201 tells you channel walks, when they break, get out for a long time and just wait, right? You're either invalidated and the channel walk shifts back up, and when I say when a channel walk shift, sometimes you will get a channel walk like this. The whales will take a break, and then they will start it again, and they will push it in the same heading at the, basically the same angle and the same range tightness. So you could see this pick back up if they get their ducks in a row. I call those like channel walk shifts. It's where it shifts and then keeps going. But it'll be really clear. There's going to be a lot of volume to push this thing back up and keep going in trucking. But in general, we're in the risk the hell off on NVIDIA. So it's been going for a few days. It's going sideways, and now we're watching the reversion bands pick back up. So we'll see. The killer entry was here, the white candle on NVIDIA. A white candle on NVIDIA, which is insane, here at $94. Now we're up at $177, which is just sick. My normal rotation, you get a white candle here and a pink candle here touching the bands. It's band to band. Rainbow 3101 says sell, and that would have been 42%. But if you've been able to diamond hand this damn thing, it's up 91. So congrats to the green bulls and the leather jackets. What's up, Mim? What's Gucci? All right. So, and then lastly, speaking of money printers and crime season, they're printing like quarter billions at a time. That's not USDT, that's USDC, but it still proves the point. Like, crime season seems to be here, and when crime season's good, numbers go up, numbers go parabolic. We are even seeing live perp trading at South Korean bars, esport competitions. So, I say bars. It looks like a party place. But esport competition, they're live streaming perp trading. Which, this is degen as F. But just keep tabs on it. I'll tell you this, you don't see this during bear markets. So, are we at the top? I don't know, but it's just... I don't know, man. Koreans are just a special type of degen. They can degen like none other. Yes, we can look at Doge. Now, moving on. The SEC and the FINRA have reached out to over 200 DATs with concerns of insider trading or Treasury vehicle pre-announcements with a deeper investigation on the cards. Yeah, if you haven't noticed, there's been some tokens that have just randomly pumped like crazy, and they seem to be trend-defying. You can imagine what are going to have some DATs attached to them. That's a digital asset treasury. What does that mean? I'm not a lawyer. But check out like AVAX. AVAX on the 4 hour has just been an absolute monster. And may or may not have some DAT rumors associated with that. So keep that for what it's worth, because there are not too many things that have pumped in like a week 42%, especially of a crypto asset that liquid and that big. Now, DK on Twitter is wanting us to take a look at Doge. We'll take a look at Doge. Ooh, Doge is actually almost to the reversion bands. I'm actually honestly surprised Elon isn't talking about Doge anymore. That's a really good Mali pivot right there. Let's see it support, and then probably pop. But I'd be interested in like 20 cents and see what goes from there. But with meme coins, DK, you have to be super management. You have to manage them so tightly because they can just randomly nuke, and it gets really, really bad. And you don't want to be anywhere near that, right? You don't want to be looking at tagging the reversion band here and then having it continue and doing a 3 drive pattern down, then pop. Like it's a bad place to be. So anyway, moving on. So James Wynn is back in it. I have him muted for good reasons, but he's coming back and says, referring to me being hunted by the market, making cable that ferociously hunted my position. CZ Binance got straight to work with Aster. I knew it was coming, and now it's here. So apparently James Wind is going to be moving from Hype over to Aster after Hype just destroyed him. Something to take note of. Long story short, this is a transition to the stream where I really want to focus on a fight that we're having right now between Hype, Binance, and Binance's Aster. And I say Binance's Aster. It's really CZ's Aster, which is a perp dex that is competing with Hype. Right now, Aster has been on an absolute non-stop tear, up like 1,700% in a few weeks, and then today it finally showed some weakness once NATO kind of started talking trash. So it's interesting to say the least, but it's a big focus I wanted to show you guys. So we're getting into Aster, we're getting into degen stuff. When I need to get a pulse of what's going on with the degen stuff, I go and start listening and start talking to my favorite 2 degens, Trader Stacks. Give him a follow. He spells trader with an O. And you can go see his setup here. He's locked in, if you can't tell. Got the mouth guard, got the Apple, got the 3 screens going. He's locked the F in. Then you have to go check out his buddy Pep. Pep is sitting there memeing Aster in reference to Aster. So you got to pay attention to that. So I got Pep talking Aster. I got Stacks talking Aster. We're looking at this on the 15-minute candle because this thing has not been available for very long. It has not been available on many exchanges. But as you can quickly see, that's 84% since Monday. And it finally showed some weaknesses today. I don't even have enough candles yet to do reversion bands. So we'll see and see if we can get enough data for this. But right now, high level, we had a really, really awesome perp dex Hype is now being challenged by Binance's CZ with his perp dex. Who's going to win? I don't know. But I will say it's going to cause a dynamic that I think we could potentially trade. So, interesting thing here picked up by Drake Coin SX. Breaking, it looks like Binance and Coinbase are accumulating on Aster. Listing imminent. It's only, well, I say it's a listing. I say it's only a matter of time. Binance listing Aster totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. Excuse me. Hold on. Coinbase listing Aster. I don't know if they will. They have not listed Hype yet, and they're going to be launching their own base token. But on chain in general, what'll happen is before a listing, the big exchanges have to go get a supply before they list it. And they have to fill their own coffers before they try to open up an order book. And it looks like Coinbase and Binance are doing that. Now, with that being said, when something's going crazy and it's got momentum, don't fade it. You can get some really, really crazy prints on Rainbow Trend stuff when you're talking about stuff coming out of nowhere, especially like coins below the top 100 that don't have a lot of history. Aster had no history and had CZ backing it. It's been going absolutely wild. And Is it legit? We'll see. So far, it seems to be doing okay. My big sentiment was I'll see if Stacks turns negative on it in a week, is really what I did. And he went back and forth on it a while, and he seems to be interested in it now. So we'll see. We'll maybe have him on stream again sometime, or at least in the roundtable. He's never done an official stream interview, but we'll see. Now, just make sure when you check a Binance Smart Chain validator, especially anything related to Aster, make sure you pick a good one, right? If you guys don't know, that's all CZ in different outfits. It's a bad joke, but shout out to the Rainbow Trends Discord. Bill Williams actually charted my thoughts this week, and he was looking for a trade setup before I was really talking about it. So I wanted to give him a shout out, saying, "Hey, whites and reds with machine oversold on hype 4 hour. FUD seems a little overdone at the moment." I agree. This is Bill Williams' charts here. Hype was doing insane numbers, and frankly, hype was one of the only things that trended in 2025 more than 4 to 5 weeks. Everything else had about a 4 to 5 week timeline. Does anyone remember like AI agents? We thought that was going to be like a 6-month thing. It quickly died. A lot of the meme coins phrase we had was very short-lived, made it maybe a month and a half, right? Hype has been very successful. Their volume has a great product, right? A lot of the Rainbow Trend traders use it. Now, Aster is intentionally bleeding into hype because it wants hype's it wants hype's market. It wants their users on their exchange. It wants their fees. It wants all that stuff, right? And they're bleeding this out. So we're talking about a very, very strong asset that's been doing well for a year or so, probably more than that, bleeding out from a high of like 58 down to like 41. And I think this is setting up to something I'm going to be highly, highly regretting if I don't act on it. Right now, we have H4 candles printing white, yellow, right up against some pivots here on the 41. I really want to buy this. I wish we had it on Coinbase, right? Or Kraken. I don't think it's on Kraken. I don't know. Hold on. I don't think it is. Perpetuals are... Yeah. That's why I don't think Coinbase is going to list Aster, to be honest with you. But check it out. Bill Williams caught it. I see it too. This is his chart. This is mine. Eddie from YouTube, thank you. I appreciate it. It's very visual. If you can't tell, I'm a visual learner. That's why I coded all this stuff. I haven't really looked at this like a channel walk, but it kind of is. The big thing is it went from pinks on this side of the reverse band to a very short order, getting all the way down to the reverse bands here on white. And hype is not something we've seen weakness on really in a very long time. So we'll see. Is it going to do this for a week? I don't know. It might just V-bottom out. We'll see. A lot of this is going to come down to the Russia stuff that's going on that we're going to cover in the later part of the stream. So it's going to be interesting. Anyway, it's a theory I'm looking at. It's a theory I think is actively playing out, and it's not something I want to tell you guys about when the price is back up here and say, hey, look, I told you so in hindsight, right? We talk stuff live. We talk as it plays out, and we check receipts. So that's the last thing I want to do is show you guys smoky beers. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Very tired, very tired. I'm out of coffee right now, so. Anyway. Another thing, we actually saw some weakness today, right? We're actually seeing hype bleed. BTC had 2 of its 3 biggest liquidation events of 2025 in the last 4 days. $2.57 billion gone. And yeah, it's not the best. We've seen better. It's gone further than I expected, to be honest. As far as a pullback, price discovery puts us back up to like 135. If we start to do the breakout. Now, we're not doing that right now, as you can clearly see. But people keep asking me, Runner, what's next? What's next? And I will tell you right now on the stream, what comes next may shock you. Boom, boom, boom. Clickbait YouTube, open mouth, screaming, PFP, all that jazz. Now, in short, we're retesting. It sucks. We have not broken into this order block. Even if we did, I still don't think it's over yet, but I've been wrong before. So you tell me what your thoughts are. But in general, this is a big noisy chart. But welcome to Rainbow Trends and welcome to crypto markets, because this stuff's been chewing people up and we've been staying ahead of it. Channel walk broke up, broadening wedge, pop, 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 price discovery. And then we ended up doing really, really nice price discovery. And then we faded. And now we're retesting. In general, look at this as like a 4-hour H4 range. That's going to be your next order block. And obviously we'll get really, really excited at 120s. But this old resistance order block is going to be our king order block for support for a while now. So we got to stay on top of that. We'll see. Test. Liquidity is being found. It's not the weekend yet. But we'll get into some of the stuff that's why this market's shaking. It wasn't just the Bitcoin that pulled back today. So what's the bubble? Oh, the gray one. This is a target. I just draw targets where, so Bitcoin did 3 drives when it was doing initial price discovery here when we were above 875. So I just showed it was 3 drives of colors, and as the colors faded and rotated out of the reversion band, which is this green one. Is this on logarithmic? Yeah. So if we get price discovery again, my first drive is going to be like there. So that's where like we're projecting. If the bulls wake up, that's where it's going to hit. So anyway, good question. Thank you for that. Moving on. Next slide. Bull run ends in 30 days. Just to let you guys know. So if we're going to get to Josh's 333K target, we got some work to do. All joking aside, I've definitely been following this Bitcoin price after halvenings tracker, and I've been showing it in some of the previous streams. Like, we're kind of running out of time here. And if you look at their charts, you look at mine, we're in the window that we've been calling for a while as being traditionally, this is kind of the market peaks, right? We only have a few more months of this window before I'm kind of like, man, our old peak windows are disappearing. This is getting concerning. And you can see the old windows here, right? This is the window when we were in the 60s. Here's the window we were in the 20s. Here's the window back when crypto was 2014 at like $500. Really the peak there. But it's all based on the halvening timings as well as some of the peak to bottom stuff that we've been timing. Dime had some dates here I threw in there that were really good. And it all goes back to the Mayer multiple. And right now the Mayer multiple says at a minimum we need $200,000 to consider this the end of the bull run. And we're not there yet, excuse me. So it's getting really interesting because this will be one of the first windows that we have based on halvening timings that doesn't touch the standard, the 2.0 standard deviation of the Mayer multiple, which means one of two things. We're not going to touch the 2.0 standard deviation this run, and then the top is somewhere at a lower standard deviation, or we are going to peak outside of that window later on into the standard deviations. With that being said, though, the longer this stuff moves, the standard deviations tend to grind higher. So if we have delays and go into 2026, you're talking about numbers that could easily project at a minimum, like calling for Bitcoin minimum peaks of $250,000, which kind of sounds crazy, but doesn't really sound too crazy to me. Talking about Bitcoin doubling in a parabolic bull run, it's already in the 120s, 110s. So we could do it, but I could tell you, man, the amount of normies are going to be calling and blowing up my phone like, yo, I want to talk about Bitcoin. It's over 200K. I'm thinking about investing. Well, don't do it, right? That's what I'm going to tell the normies who have no risk assessment. I think I'll just tell them buy Ripple, right? So I would never do that to a friend. So another one. This is a bit more concerning. Ethereum has pulled back even further, and that is way too small. So Ethereum is actually pulled below this order block, which was our TP since April of 2025 that we nailed. This has been one of the most glorious rainbow runs. Rainbow traders started bitching and moaning like, yo, dude, Ethereum actually looks bottom around April, May. People started finally talking about it in like June, July of this year. But we've been like long since down there, so it's been awesome to see this thing continue. But It's losing a very, very key order block, which means I'm going to get really, really, really skittish of my Ethereum holdings. In short order, if we do not reclaim this order block, which has been an order block since March of 2024. This has been the one that's been rejected multiple times. I don't want to switch to dailies to clean this up because I'm going to go right back to H4s. But right now, I want a just very short time frame of liquidity sweep and get us back up in here. I just need that. That's what I want. If we don't get that, we've got to talk serious things. But you can see, dude, we've got a pink RSI there. That's super hot RSI read, and it's starting to rotate. We've got a green on the current H4, so hope to God this thing gets it back above the order block. Albeit, if we don't get the order block up, I just want to at least get our magical number above 4000. So if that makes sense, it's just psychological numbers. Humans are weird. You're logging into a rainbow stream right now from a rainbow colored Shetland cow. So welcome to the simulation. Hope you guys are having fun. If you guys click like, comment, subscribe, be much appreciated. We're trying to grow this YouTube channel out. We do this for free. So yeah, I don't have a bottom signal yet. I'm not at the reversion bands, but the outlier is that RSI is screaming, and the RSI is enough to stop a whale potentially. So that might be your bottom. I hope it is, because I want Bitcoin to stay above that order block, and I want Ethereum to quickly reclaim this and then stay above it. So, and back to Eddie's question, that's what these streams are for. We do them once a week to help people understand like these crazy charts and how to become better traders using these signals. These are not turnkey out of the box, turn them on and instantly vibe with them. Albeit some people do, but some people have to explain it because it's a lot on your eyes if you've never seen it. Now, a lot of this stuff's real simple, but some of it can just get really deep. Explaining like the 913 prints and stuff like that, it gets really crazy. But anyway, now, while the RSI is hot, Ansem gut is higher, Ansem saying it's going to go lower. So we've got some bullish sentiment here. Ansem saying lower. I'm thinking we're going to do a little better, hopefully. I try to give you guys the bullish side, the bearish side. If Ansem's saying lower, we might be saved. Aussie with 1.3 thousand. We're only at 241. We got to get those numbers up. Got to get them up. Now, with that being said, algorithms today, I do run a Rainbow Theory bot on the side. May or may not run that. And render popped a little too hard today, and I got an exposure here right around like 330. It was within a penny of the bottom. It's a T-node bot, but it's 84% chance it wins this long. So I've got good odds here on render, but just wanted to show you like we're up about 2%. And some of the other guys in the Rainbow Trends Discord took this too. So definitely we've got NATO stuff hopping up. So just make sure you stop loss this accordingly. And also the bot I have that I was chatting about in the Discord, I'm only 10% exposed. I've got room to add 9 more positions. So it wasn't that bad, but it's been like 2 months since I've had an entry on render. So it was really good to see that bot execute. Now, moving on. Senate panel to hold taxation on digital assets hearing October 1st. So that's going to be fun. Yeah, maybe the cycle's going to be coming to an end and they're just going to tax it to hell. We'll see. Now, with that being said, why did markets pull back today? We did get some numbers this morning on the TradeFi sector in regards to Q3, GDP, and some other stuff. I wasn't paying too much attention. Frankly, Powell did a rate cut. I'm going to focus on the rate cut for a while. Now, with that being said, we're going to focus on calm and controlled rate cuts until about May 2026, and then Powell's out. And then whoever comes in is going to be DGen as F, and that may just mess up the whole market. But anyway, NATO is what we're talking about. NATO is pissed. Russian drones, Russian planes are encroaching on other territories. And what's up, DK? NATO is pissed, right? NATO's mad. NATO is saying, yo, we're actually about to start shooting these jets and stuff that are over our airspace. So, in addition to that, apparently Pete Hegseth has agreed that the, how do you say this? The group chat in Telegram is, or not Telegram, really? They use was it Telegram that they got leaked, or was it WhatsApp? I don't remember. I think it was Telegram. The war group chat of the U.S. government apparently isn't good enough to handle this, so he actually called in the Secretary of War, not Defense anymore. It's called an urgent meeting with hundreds of top generals to bring them in. And apparently, U.S. has deployed jets up in the air to start dealing with these Russian bombers and drones and other stuff like that. Long story short, about 2 weeks ago, Zelensky announced that they're going to be getting support, and they're now planning to win the Ukrainian-Russian war and get all their land back, which is, if you don't know, they've been in a stalemate for like 6 months, essentially, just burning up infrastructure and burning up bodies as well as tanks and drones and everything else. And they're starting to run into supply issues, so eventually they're going to be running out. I think Russia only has enough tanks to get them into like January, so another 3 months or so. Albeit the tanks aren't really used on the front lines anymore, but still. The point is, though, is last week or two, Trump was saying, yo, we're going to be changing support to where Zelensky actually thinks he's going to be winning. And a week later, all of a sudden, Russian jets and drones and bombers started messing with all the other NATO airspaces. So NATO has come back, said F around, find out, which spooked the markets today. Why? If NATO wakes up and starts battling Russia, you then start talking about, instead of Quad U, you start talking about nuclear war. And that scares everything. So, yeah. Yeah. Not big on it. Not a fan of war. Definitely not a fan of bombs. I am a fan of the Foxbat, the MiG-25, so there's a non-zero chance we could see a Foxbat come back online and do some aerial engagements. I think this is one of the only jets, correct me if I'm wrong, it's one of the only jets that's actually taken down an F-15 or an F-18. I forgot which one. I think the F-18 is undefeated, but anyway. Long story short, I love this airplane for all the wrong reasons. It's awful, but it's also one of the fastest things that's ever been built, and it's also the only airplane that's ever intercepted an SR-71 Blackbird. And this thing's made out of stainless steel, not titanium, so it's awesome. Anyway, this was a big thing for the market today. S&P started pulling back. We started seeing stuff across the board start flash crashing. I say flash crashing. That numbers been going up. S&P's been printing all-time highs for months now. We actually saw some legit weakness, and the war stuff spooked a lot of the markets. It's not something that you can price in too much, and if you zoom out, it's like, who cares, right? This can just go and print another all-time high, and we're going to go hit 7,000, right? Anyway, yeah, but that's why you saw crypto actually flinch today, right? In my opinion, because as soon as I started seeing the NATO stuff pop up, the chart started blipping. This is my MAG 7 chart. If you'll notice, hey, runner, that's 8, you dumbass. Well, it's because I just have the S&P on the side. So we've got Amazon. These are 4 hours, so you've got slight little pullback on Amazon. Apple, you don't have anything. People are excited about the iPhone. Tim Cook keeps telling Trump sorry. Meta doing a little retest, but did show some weakness here. Microsoft, meh. NVIDIA is doing the channel walk pullback. Tesla rotating in the reversion bands, and AMD here. So just kind of keeping a check on things, but it's we're keeping a pulse. S&P did pop back. NATO pop back. In all seriousness, guys, though, it's either all or nothing when it comes to the nuclear war. Unfortunately, humans are like this, but either nothing happens or just we aren't going to have a stream next week. Like, there's no in between. Like, it's either hundreds of nuclear bombs are going to get dropped out of the air and we blast ourselves back into the Stone Age, or it's buy the dip and things go back to reality. We're cooked, Vulture. What's up, Matt? Anyway, moving on. I believe Dime is entering his main character streak. So we're seeing the final arc before he flies too close to the sun and blows up and comes falling back down to Earth. But Dime is proceeding to brag about Silver actually doing well and actually beating Ethereum, which you guys don't know. Silver is actually moving, which is insane. He's probably just, it's awesome. I'm very happy for him. He's been in this trade for a very long, weird time. And we're talking about something that was like $15 an ounce just a few years ago, going all the way back up to $44 an ounce. So it's pretty cool. So we'll see. Metals are going crazy. We'll see where this goes. Now, is that because the dollar's dying and the stocks are going up because dollar sucks and that's why Bitcoin? Maybe. Inflation still is a problem, and we definitely don't want deflation because that's crazy. But, yeah. Is it time to be a silver bug? I don't know. The culture behind it scares me. And the fact that Dime is top blasting, beating his chest on it really scares me. And he's starting his main character arc. But we'll have to keep a pulse on it. Gold's been going absolutely crazy. It's about time silver starts going crazy. How crazy has gold been? How? Well, it's been so bad that a 3,000-year-old Pharaoh bracelet was stolen and melted down for roughly $3,000 worth of gold. A 3,000-year-old Egyptian artifact was stolen and melted down. Some dumbass melted priceless artifact so that they could trade it into a pawn shop. Yeah, and I'm very upset about this. So yeah, don't do that. Definitely don't. But yeah, that's. Whew. I had to show this to my daughter. She's an ancient Egypt little nut. She's a fun little kid, and she was like shocked and was like, "That idiot." I was like, "Yeah." So to hear a little girl call somebody an idiot, you did really good. But yeah, gold up only, same thing. Since the beginning of 2025, we went from 2,600 to 3,700. It's doing better than Ethereum. It's doing better than a lot of other things. Is it doing better than O'Reilly's? I don't know. We need to maybe check that, but this is a hell of a trend. I don't even know what to tell you guys on it. But anyway, with that being said, we are running up out of time. Thank you guys for showing up. I'm going to end on one thing that I'm very excited about. Since we're talking Egyptian gold, something happened that I didn't know was going to happen. But give me 1 second. So if you guys don't know, at the end of the stream, I turn all the cameras off and we go hang out in the Discord. And go click up here. We always have the Discord link on the website. And come join us tonight. Ask me questions if you're new, want to learn about the tools, you want to talk Rivian, you want to make jokes, you want to talk Toyotas. We're all about it. Talk surfing half the time. Go hang out with us in the Discord. We're going to be doing that the rest of the night. But big news. If you guys don't remember the Scan the Pyramids, right? They have been scanning the pyramids for a very long time, and the particle array that they view takes forever. So you have to sit there and read it forever to get any type of data. Well, above the chevrons of the actual official entrance, they noted that, hey, there's a void here. There's an open space here that no one's ever talked about or discovered. And finally, the Egyptian powers that be were like, yo, okay, if you can stick a camera through those chevrons without hurting anything or drilling any holes, go for it. They did, and they found out there was an actual empty corridor behind the chevrons, and so they proved that, hey, our technology works. Well, for the longest time, this was just a little one near the entrance. There's been a gigantic void above the Grand Gallery that's angled like the Grand Gallery. And as far as we can tell, it's never been accessed. I thought for the longest time they were never ever gonna go look at it because this is the Great Grand Pyramid. They don't ever want to mess with this thing. I found out next year they're actually going to be drilling a hole into it. And the technology we have now with all these miniature drones and stuff, you could probably run a 1/2 inch or a 1 inch drill bit all the way up in here and launch little drones to go explore this and fully see what's in it. If that's the case, and there's anything in here, we can actually carbon date the pyramids, which has not happened. There's nothing inside this pyramid that had carbon on it, so it's hard to date it. Up here above the king's chamber, way up in here, there's one single like hieroglyph that references the stone quarrying that kind of dates it, but they don't know if it was faked. But if we can actually get to an unaccessed chamber that's never been touched, there might be artifacts or a tool or something in here that they can carbon date. And I'm very excited. That's happening next year. So, dude, I am so excited. Yeah, Eddie, I saw the LiDAR too that showed the crazier things. I don't know when they're ever going to mess with that or go look at that because that's even crazier. This one we actually know and is huge, and it hasn't been touched. So it's very, very exciting because you could go in there and find hieroglyphs or something or a tool or like something and actually get figure out who built them. So anyway, that's the stream. Thank you guys for showing up. Definitely click a like, comment, subscribe. It goes a long way. Much love all around. I'm gonna go hop over into the Rainbow Trends Discord and hang out there for the rest of the night. I'll be charting. Other dudes will be charting. You let me know. We can hang out. Hell, we can play Rocket League if you want.